Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Wax Seal Live. My name is Betsy Goodman. I'm a wax seal and lettering artist, and I'm super excited to make some fun wax seals with you today. Today we are making, this is hard for me to explain or like thinking of the right phrasing, but we're going to make flowers out of sealing wax, and it will also be a wax seal. So that's what we're making, and we're going to be using these really pretty 3D engraved stamps. And I'm super excited about this. So we're going to have a lot of fun making some spring kind of sills. It was so nice yesterday and felt very springy, and today it feels like winter again. So it's that time of year where it's like going back and forth. But I would love to know where you're watching from. Let me know how your day is going. I can see we've got a bunch of people here with us already. I can see Kimmy's here today. Marilyn's here. We've got Kimberly. Welcome. Hello from Washington. Hello from St. Louis. We've got Virginia and Mary here. You can see we've got April. Got Maya from Richmond. Catherine's here. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so this is going to be really fun. But there was a couple things that I wanted to show you first. So before we actually get into our seal making, there's a few things that I wanted to show you. So the very first thing is very exciting. It's just a box, but I want to show you this. So this is the box for the Wax Seal Collectors Club. And it's got gold foil on it, which I'm so excited about. And then it's pink on the inside, which is so fun. So I'm getting ready. I've been working on the website page, and I'm going to be taking some photos. I was going to do it today, but it's kind of cloudy, so I want it to be a little bit brighter. But I just thought I would share this with you. It's really fun. It's coming along. I'm going to grab the waitlist link for you. If you haven't joined, what this is, it's called the Collectors Club, and it's once a month, one wax seal stamp. Let me grab the link here really quick to join the waitlist. And I'm going to be launching it. The plan, fingers crossed, is next week. I wanted to do it for the 1st of March, so it was lined up with how it will be in future months. But the stamps didn't arrive until yesterday. So they're here. And so we can actually move forward. So I'm thinking I'll do it next week. But if you want to hear about it or see all the details, just join the waitlist, and then I'll send you an email to be the first one to hear about it. But I thought it was just fun to show you the little box, and I'll have to show you some photos that I'm going to take with it because I think that will be really cute. Okay, I have 2 more fun things to share. So the first one is Marilyn. Marilyn is here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let me find a comment from Marilyn. Marilyn, here's Marilyn. Marilyn sent me this sweet little box, and I wanted to show it to you. So I opened it up, and let me bring you guys out a little farther. But Marilyn sent this to me, and it was so sweet, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's so pretty. But you can see she has Duck Lady Crafts, Marilyn, and she made me this cute little card. And everything matches so well, Marilyn. But I wanted to show you a few things. So she made me this gorgeous folio, and this type of artwork paper crafting I do not know how to do. And so I'm always so impressed with the layering, with the how everything lines up so that it will actually work. Here's Marilyn. So I just wanted to show these 2. It's really pretty, and she incorporated wax seals throughout the whole thing. So I wanted to show you that really quick. And the other fun thing she sent me some floss to get my seals off the marble. So I did try it the one time, and then I just need to keep it in my supply box so I have it. And then she also sent me this spoon with the wax poured out, but then it stands up by itself, which is really fun. Like a fun way, you can't see it, but it sits like that. But it's kind of a fun way to gift a spoon, I think. Anyway, so that was fun. But I was just going to show you this that she made, and then I have one other example that someone gave me today of a fun wax seal use. So you can see she used the B for my name's Betsy, so for my initials, and then each page there's just so much going on of little pockets and little places, but she incorporated wax seals in a lot of fun places. So she has them on these little tags. She did a lot of bees for me, but her seals kind of match the paper and everything. But I just thought this was so pretty and so fun. It has this little section, that's like a little card, but there's like this little section where you can write, like do some journaling. It's just so fun. And it's like, I don't even know how people come up with these things. There's so much going on. And then this one has the bee again and the cute little duck. But I just thought it was so well. Oh, and this has a little pocket, which was so fun. So you can put little, it has a few little things in there. You can add more. So well made and so fun. And so I just wanted to show that to you guys. I know a lot of you guys do this type of paper making, like paper arts and craft type of thing. And I don't do it, but I'm always so impressed. It's just so beautiful. And it all lines up and it folds and opens. I'm like, how did you manage that? But anyway, I just wanted to share that. Good job, Marilyn. It's gorgeous. And I'm so thankful that you sent this to me. I'm really excited about it. So I wanted to share that today. And then I had one other really fun one. This is from Jessica Young. Lives not super close, but like 45 minutes away from me. And she came to pick up her order today. And she brought me this cute little gift. And so I wanted to share it because I thought this was so fun. But it's just this cute little bag of little carrot gummies. And then she did her seal. So she did a little frame seal. And then she did, this is a nail charm. So, because I was like, oh my gosh, is that from a seal? Because it looked like it was wax. But it's a little nail charm. And so she said she got this little package of nail charms that were like vegetables, little vegetables, because she's doing like a farmer's market party thing with some friends. And so that's what she's making some of these. But I thought that was so cute, and it matches so cute with the little carrots. And then she matched the blue with her ribbon. And I was just like, this is such a fun way to use a wax seal. Like, you don't have to add a wax seal to this. It would be so cute without it. But like, all the detail and tying in the colors just makes it feel even more special. So I just wanted to share those, a few fun ways that people in the wax seal community are using their wax seals and supplies. And I just love it. I love seeing it. So a few ideas for you today. Okay, let me share what supplies I have today. I'm going to bring you guys a little closer. So these are from the shop. And when I saw these, I immediately was like, I know exactly what I'm making with those. And I'm adding a bunch to the shop. And not very many of them have sold. But I think because as a standalone seal, this looks like, I don't get it. But we're going to make a flower out of it. And I think it will be really great. So I'm using these today. I've got parchment paper down. I'm going to turn on my sealing wax. And I have a few different colors here. So I've got... let's see, Dusty Rose and Primrose. So I wanted to be able to add, like mix these colors to get different shades of pink. So you're just going to want to choose 2 colors that you could potentially mix to get a variety of shades so that they kind of match, you know. And then I also have 2 greens. So I grabbed Dusty Green and Light Green. So again, same thing, that I can mix them to get a few different shades. And let me also... yes, Marilyn's reminding me I need to make myself smaller. Okay, so I've got those. The other things that I have is I've got a spoon and a warmer for mixing the colors together. And so I'm still going to melt it in the glue gun, but then I'm just going to pour it in the spoon to do the color mixing. So I've got that. And I think maybe it was Dawn that gave us this paperclip trick. I'm going to try it again today, but clean it off after I use it and try that. So I'm going to have that handy. I'm going to have this little stirrer. I think I may need an X-Acto knife and a mat. Oh, and the last thing that I am going to use too is some nail chrome. So I'm going to have this handy as well. So I have made this. So basically we're using sealing wax to make a wax seal that looks like a flower. And I also was thinking, let me just look really quick. You guys know I have my bin of Mary Poppins bin. I thought I saw my vellum wax here just a second ago. Yes. And I want to use this as the base, which then I also need a stamp, which I didn't even grab a blank round. I have a blank hex. You might be able to just use that. I've got this one handy, but I've totally forgot that I got to make a base for it. So this is my vellum wax. So I like to use this one as the base, but you could honestly use any of the colors as a base. So I'm going to get that plugged in. If we don't have a leaf petal stamp, what do you recommend we try? I'll show you. Let's make this one, and then I'll give you, I won't do the whole thing, but I'll show you what you can do to make it otherwise, because I originally have made it without these. So let's go ahead. The vellum still has to warm up. I also have a lighter here. So I'm going to light my candle and get this going. And get my spoon kind of warming up. And I'm going to see, maybe we'll start with our leaves first. And so I was kind of thinking, I don't know, maybe we'll stay kind of darker. So let's see if this is warm enough. I'm just doing it on parchment paper because I'm cutting all of this out. So I don't care about any of the edges on this one. So I'm going to press my first leaf. But the next one, I want it to be a little bit lighter. So this is where I'm going to get trying to see where the camera is. Let's bring you guys a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm going to do some of the light green. And when you're mixing colors, you don't need as much of the dark color. Like a little bit of dark goes a long way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Hello from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Hi, Beth. What are the names of the stamps you're using? So they're just like petal number 1 and petal number 2. Not that creative. This one I think is mint leaf. I'll have to share the links. And this one is another leaf one. I'm trying to remember what I put that one as. I think this is mint and that's herb, I think. But I'll share the links. But now I'm going to do some of the darker green, and I'm going to mix this so that I can get kind of like a mix of the two greens. I'm new to all this. What's the best glue gun to use? You know, I love the Sure Bonder. It's this brand, Dual Temp. That's my favorite. I also have several of this AdTech one, but lately I've been sticking to this one. The AdTech sometimes will have the wax will come back, versus this one I've only had that happen once, and I have like 50 of them. So that's been my favorite one so far. So I'm just going to mix this together so we can get another shade of green. And I do need to grab a paper towel to clean off my little stirrer. So a toothpick would be great for this. You know what I need to get? I keep thinking about this and I never get it when I'm at the grocery store, but just those little wooden stirrers that you use for coffee or like hot cocoa or something. Strictly Rita uses those all the time. And I'm like, I just need to buy a box of them. And I just never think about it when I'm at the store. I'm going to set this down, but I do want to clean it off. Let me grab a paper towel here. Brand new paper towel roll. Okay. So I do want to clean this off now because then it will just be nice and clean. But let's see how much lighter this is. So I'm just going to pour it onto the parchment paper, and I'm going to leave some of it in there and just clean off the edge of the spoon, because then I can add a little more of the light green to that. And I did pour a little too much, but that's okay. I'm going to press that. Hi, Rhonda. Welcome. So we're making a wax seal that's made out of sealing wax that looks like a flower. I'm like, I need a name for it. But this is what the leaf looks like. So it's so fun and detailed. So we're gonna cut it out, but that's their first one. I'm gonna make one more of this one, I think. So let's go a little bit lighter on our green again. The leaf ones I feel like could look really pretty just as a sill, the leaf. Like that's just pretty. The petal ones are a little bit like, what is that? If it's just the petal, you know what I mean? So it lends itself really well to this technique. But the way that I thought of this or came up with this, I don't know if you guys follow any people who use clay to make earrings and jewelry, but I follow, so this is not looking that much lighter. That's okay. Like I said, the dark, you don't need a lot of dark. It's kind of mixing a little more in now. Anyway, so I follow this lady, I think it's Lulu Cutters, but she does a lot of jewelry and she had made some flowers out of clay. And when I saw it, I was like, I wonder if I could make a flower that looks like that, but make it out of sealing wax. And so I did. And so I'll show you that version because it was without these stamps. But as soon as I saw these stamps, I was like, I want those for this technique to make it into a little flower. So I'm just going to clean that off. It just comes off really well once it's warm. And then pour some. This wax is quite warm. I'm just going to clean up the edges. And then I'm just going to set it here for 1 second. And I'm going to turn off my sealing wax. So this is the other one. This one is called the herb leaf. But you can see it's very detailed, very pretty little leaf there. So let me share these with you. They're all in the spring collection. But okay, so this, well, I'm just going to share the spring collection link because that's just going to be faster than finding the full links. Then we can get going again. Okay. Hi, Jennifer from Colorado. Welcome. Okay, so we've got this one, and I'm going to make this one so we can just use up the wax. I really would like to get a little bit lighter, but maybe we'll use like a little, maybe we can get one more sill. That barely came up. You can see how it's stuck here. It's a little on the warm side. It's not fully cooled, but let's just get, that has enough to do one more here with this one. And I'm not worried about the bubbles or the edges because I'm cutting them all out. I do want to try to get one more lighter green. And let me show you a little trick. I'm almost out of this green, don't have another stick for it. So what I'll do sometimes if I know I just need like one more sill, I'll just put a glue stick in, just so it has to have something behind it to push it out. So I'll just put that in there just so I can get a little more green out. And then from here, you don't normally want to like pull the sticks out backwards, but because we just used it to get enough, like one sill out, we can pull that out. And so I wouldn't go farther in, but just like if you need just one more, you can do that. Happy belated birthday. Thanks for the sale. Yeah, thank you. My birthday was actually February 4th, and I had every intention of doing a birthday sale like early February, but then so many things were out of stock that I was like, I want it to be a good sale where there's lots of things on sale. So I waited, and then I kind of forgot about it. And Yulia, who helps package everything, was like, are you going to do that sale? Like the weekend. And then I was like, oh yeah, I need to do it. I was like, I'm going to do it at the end of February. And she's like, well, that's now. And I was like, oh yes, I need to get that done. So thanks for everyone that shopped the sale. That was fun. I like doing a little birthday sale. I feel like the birthday one and like the business anniversary sales are just fun extra ones, you know? Okay, so this is a little bit on the thick side. So I'm going to put it back over my warmer here so it can kind of just heat up just a touch more. And we'll see if these ones are ready. They're pretty warm. So this is a great example. Can you see how there's some wax here? Like the stamps are hot. They're really warm. So this would be, if I would have grabbed an ice pack, that's the perfect time for it. Or you just need to let it sit. And so we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sills, and they're like this one's not even coming off because it's so hot. So we just got to let it cool. Maybe we'll go pop it in the freezer. Okay. Let's go pop it in the freezer, or maybe I'll just go grab an ice pack. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I'm just like, I think it'll be better to help those stamps cool down, and the petals will need it too. But anytime you're making more than one stamp, more than like 2 or 3 with the same stamp, you're going to want to cool it, because this is what will happen. The wax just gets stuck. And it's just because it's too hot. So what I can do here is I have my little ice pack now. I can just put that whole thing sitting on it. And I'm going to put this on, and I'm just going to put my petals on too so they can start getting cold. So those are all on the ice pack. I'm going to set those right there. Okay. And I don't want to pour, I'm still liking how light this green is, so I do want to use it, but I just don't want to use it yet. So I'm going to get these ones cut out, make the last of the leaves, and then we'll go on to the petals. Just saw this on my feed. I love this. Welcome, Robin. We're making some wax sills. We're going to make a complete wax sill that looks like a flower. So we're making a bunch of different sills and combining them together. Let's see. February 4th is my cousin and dad's birthday, and my mom's is the 11th. My grandpa's was the 15th. Lots of February birthdays. I love it. I finally bought the delicate lace stamp, and it is incredible. I'll use it year round. I love that one. That one is one of my favorite stamps from the shop. And that's the thing about it. It is good for all year round, which is fun. So you can see we do have some variation in our colors. So you can see it goes darker to lighter. And if we add one more, but I'm not going to use all of these on one of the sills. I probably need 2. I could maybe get away with doing 3, but I won't need all of them. So what I'm going to do first, these ones are kind of nice because there's kind of some space between the leaf part that was the engraving on the stamp and the rim. So I'm just going to rough cut around that so the rim of the seal is gone. And I don't have to worry about that. And then now I have my leaf that I can use. And if you're making a bunch of these, just drop those back in the spoon and you can keep making more. So I think for these, I'm thinking if I have 3, that should be good. 2 or 3. So there's that one. I'm going to save all I have a collection of green waxes going, and I was going to try to do it today, but this one was so thin it just popped out. But for St. Patrick's sills, so we might have to do that one maybe next week. I'm just going to see if this one will do the same thing. Yeah, this one was really hot, so it was pretty thin on that bottom side, so I can try that. What I'm going to do now is I have this wax. It's getting pretty warm, and I can see I need to mix it a little bit better. But I was just going to pour this one. me just clean off my little tool. And we're gonna reposition the camera way up here so I don't have to move my cutting mat. And we'll press one more leaf. This one I think is at a place where I can probably get it off now. So we'll do this one. And then this one. I'm going to try grabbing this. So this is what will happen when your stamps are too hot and you just keep making sills. I ran into this so much when I first started because I didn't have very many stamps. And so I would overheat them all the time. And so it's always good to keep them cool or keep them on an ice pack if you're making more than a few. So that one's all cleaned off now. And there's enough of this wax here that I can do one more of that bigger size, and then I'm going to clean out my spoon now. So a bunch of leaves. You don't need this many leaves for this. You just need 2 or 3 per little sill, but I'm going to, and you can just use, this is just a paper towel. And I have one more that I didn't really finish using over here. The trick with cleaning out your spoon is that the wax needs to be warm. So if you get like little bits of residue stuck in there, you just need to heat up the spoon a little more and then it will come out really clean. So nice and clean, mostly. There's like a little bit on this side, and that's where it's like you could heat it up a little more to wipe it off. Can you see that? There's like little bits of residue. But I'm not going to worry about it because I have to use it again for pink and it's not really going to show up. Okay. Here's the link to the vegetable charms. Oh, yes, please share that. I burned my hand several times. Yes, you do need to be careful with your spoon. It is hot. So I'm going to take these ones off and then I'm going to pop them back on the ice pack. And then we'll go from there. Okay. Push this one out. Yeah, it seems like if the wax is pretty warm, you can kind of just get it to come out like that, which is nice. Okay, so now we have a little bit more variety in our shades of green, which that's what I was kind of hoping for. So you can see we've got the darker to the lighter. So then we can kind of decide like maybe we want a dark and a light and then like a mid color. But I think that will make it look kind of a little more realistic because plants, you know, have varying colors. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these out. And this is a pretty like basic shape. It's not super intricate around the edges, which makes it nice. And go around. So then we have our leaf. It's so cute. These are so fun. I feel like these would be so cute as like little charms, like to punch a hole through them or something. I don't know. But there's 3 of these little leaves. So there's these 2, and then the other one, I think it's like called a Montessera, something like that. I know and when you see it, you will know exactly the type of leaf it is. But it's not the type that would like maybe be on a little flower like this. So we went with these 2. So we just got to trim around. You potentially could do this with scissors, I think, but I just feel like the X-Acto knife is faster and a little bit of a cleaner cut. But that wasn't too long, right? I'm going to turn my sealing wax back on so I can use the pink again. And I'm not going to cut out all these leaves, but I will later. But I'm going to save those because they're all really great. So we've got our leaves now. So now we need to make our petals. So we'll set aside this little mat. Silver clay earrings out of these would be so cute. They would. That's actually a really great idea. Making little silver clay earrings. Welcome, Laura. Let me know what you guys are up to today. Let me know what you've been doing. It's Thursday. It feels like it's Friday to me for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so let's do our petals. And I'm like, where did my petal stamps go? Oh, they're on the ice pack. I'm like, where are they? Okay, I think the primrose is kind of too light for what I want to do. So, but I don't need a ton of the dark. So I'm going to start with mostly the primrose. So we've got majority spoonful of the primrose pink, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the dusty rose. And then we'll mix that up and kind of see where we get. What type of tools do you use for trimming, cutting, wax design? So my favorite is just like an X-Acto knife. You could use, and I just use like regular scissors when I'm using scissors. I've used embroidery scissors in the past because they're very tiny and very sharp if you get a good pair, but I feel like lately I've just been doing the X-Acto knife. That's kind of my go-to. So yeah, if anyone else has other preferences, you can let us know. Hi, Valerie, welcome. I've been breaking down dried status for sills and changing out papers in one of my flower presses. Oh, I love that. Getting ready to teach a card making class on Saturday. Okay, where is that at? Is that an in-person class or online? That sounds fun. We're going to the Rock Hall tonight to see a documentary about Jeff Buckley. I'm in Cleveland. I love that. To have fun. Two of my granddaughters, I voted me to go prom dress shopping with them. It was fun. Oh, that does sound so fun. This is actually turning out to be kind of a pleasant color, and it's got a little bit of metallic to it. Hi, Lana, welcome. Practice for my harp ensemble concert. Amazing. In person at the local library. Okay, I love that. I'm making get well cards and deciding which sill to add. Oh, so fun. I love it when you guys can make sills at the same time. You can watch, listen while you're also doing it. So this is actually coming out. I wasn't expecting it to be so metallic-y, but it still is pretty metallic. I'm gonna have to put it back on the warmer. And I really need to get some of those little wood stirrers because this little thing doesn't stir it as thoroughly. Or even just getting some toothpicks would be good. I feel like it'd be a little thicker than this. I think that's going to be good enough for now. But it's like not pourable now. So I do want to just get this back on the warmer real quick. So I'll warm that up. I'm going to get my little stirrer cleaned off. So that's nice and clean now. The other thing that I can do while I'm waiting for that to warm up a little bit is I can make my base. So ideally you'll have a round stamp handy, like a blank round, but it doesn't really matter because most of it's going to be hidden underneath the flower. So I'm not really worried about it being a hexagon. So we'll just go with it for today. I should have grabbed a round one when I was going to get the ice pack. But great wax temperature, no bubbles. So I used to not use marble at all, and then it just comes down to wax temperature. So this temperature is perfect because there's no bubbles and it's holding its shape well. And so if you don't get a marble pad, you can still make really great sills. It's all about the temperature and not allowing it to get too hot. So that's looking a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's do, we'll do it over here. It's a little bit on the cool side, but it'll work. Yeah. When it's holding that little shape of like how you poured it, that means it's not quite warm enough. But from here, I'm not going to make another one like that. I'm going to add more of the primrose in. And this wax is hotter now, and I think I have an extra stick of it close by. Yes. So we'll add a little more, and then we'll stir, stir, stir again. So we can get a few different. I guess this one will be lighter. Originally, I was going to keep going darker and darker. But, oh well. So it'll be a little bit darker than the primrose. But we do need a lot of petals, so. But yeah, it does take, I feel like it takes longer to mix as a metallic. I don't know if that's true. Call that good. So that will be petal number 2. So we've got, move that one out of the way. We'll go do a lighter one. We'll see if we can get one more kind of lighter one, and then we'll go dark. And you could do this with any color of sealing wax that you want. I don't think it doesn't have to be pink. Like I've made some of these that are orange, which were fun, little orange flowers, and I've done pink too. But let's see. Get this mixed in. This one should be darker because it has more of that dark color in it. Let's see. I can see making St. Patrick's Day table settings, name cards, and napkin rings with wax seals, of course. Oh, I love that. I'm making a stationery box. Okay, you're going to have to share that when you're done, and the St. Patrick's Day things you're making. Sorry, a bit late. Welcome, Mary. I'm glad you're able to come. We're making a flower, a sealing wax flower. That's what we'll call it, a sealing wax flower. And so I'm just mixing, we're just trying to get different shades of this pink so we have some variety in our petals. You don't have to do this. On all my other ones that I've done with the other technique that I'll show you a little later, I haven't mixed the colors like this. This one's getting hot. I need to cool that down. I think I can get away with doing one more with this one before I cool it. The metallic is kind of fun though. It's giving it this really pretty shine. I kind of want one more of this one. And I think I will chance using this little bit too warm of stamp. Okay. I think I'll do one more. And then I think we should have enough petals. So I'm doing mostly the dark with a little bit of this light. This is really hot. I don't know if you can see those bubbles popping up. We'll get these mixed in. Well, yesterday I shared an email about a wholesale to me, like it's been less than a year since you've, found me and my business. But last year I was going to do a wholesale program, and it was on my like yearly goals, and I was like, I'm just going to do that. And I told everyone, I announced a date. It was like in May or June, I think. And I was like, I'm doing this. or maybe it was April, but I told everyone the date so that I would hold myself accountable. So it was like, I have to get this done. And it was just too much for me to take on myself. And I just had to be like, actually, never mind. Like a little bit embarrassing, but just like, I can't do that right now. Um, that's how that one comes out. So let's put this on the ice pack to cool. And this one, that one's still really warm. I'm just gonna put that whole thing on the ice pack to cool. But anyway, I couldn't do it. And so, but I still wanted to do it, but I couldn't manage it myself. And so anyway, I was talking with my husband Sergio about this. And so then he has offered to kind of take that over for me. And so we're going to do it. So we're going to do a wholesale program, which will be really fun. Now we just need to get the petals out. So some of these, I think we can do the thing where we kind of push and it will pull. That came out pretty smooth. Like, wow. I wonder if it's because it was warm. Let's try it with this one. But anyway, so if you have a small business, if you are a small business, a retail, like a brick and mortar or online shop, and you want to carry the product, or if you have like a favorite local boutique or shop that you're like, yes, wax seals would fit really well at this place, please message me or send me an email and let me know. Because there's always, I feel like everywhere, all the time, I'll just be driving, then I'll be like, oh my gosh, look at that cute little shop. Or you'll see places that, so I know they're all over the place. These cute little boutiques that wax seals would fit so well. So let me know if you know of any places like that. We're going to start doing that. Let's see. I think it didn't get cut through all the way on the bottom. These are so fun. I'm really excited to see this come together. This is my first time making it with you, so I mean, hopefully it works, right? I was going to try to make a set of it earlier, but I didn't get to it. Okay, I had a crazy idea before I came live here. I was like, maybe I should go live twice a week instead of once a week. I want to know what you think. Making a tulip themed card, trying to get an early start on Easter and spring. I love it. How many different petal stamps are you using for this one flower? I'm using 2. So there's only 2 available in the shop. So you can see these are the 2 different designs. So one is a little bit more like narrow, and this one's a little bit more wider. But I think they're similar enough that I feel like they'll look fine together, that it won't be weird or anything. And these have cooled down a little bit, so I'm gonna do that now. I love the petal stamp. Are you going to make it turn into a big flower? Yes. We're making a bunch of petals to make a big wax seal flower. It's going to be very fun. Okay, so this is like barely pouring, so we need to warm that up a little more. So let's get that warmed up. I think the petals and leaves would look pretty using the 2 colors without stirring them together, and just use the glue guns to put the 2 colors on the parchment book. Okay. Yeah, like mixing, are you saying like mixing them side by side? The variation in color is so pretty on the same color spectrum, but lighter and darker. Yeah, I think it'll be really fun. Twice a week could be fun. Twice a week would be great. Love seeing your ideas. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. Lately I really like doing these lives. And I think part of it is because I don't have a ton of time to just sit down and make wax seals as much as I would like. And so this is also my like creative time. The other thing we need to make is the center of the flower. So I'm just going to use vellum, and I'm just going to do like a dot like that. I'm going to do a few sizes because I'm just not really sure how this is going to come out size-wise. But I don't know. And I used to feel like with a live, like I have to know exactly how it's gonna turn out and what we're making. But lately I'm like, well, we'll just go, here's the idea and we're gonna try to make it, and it usually turns out okay. Um, anyway, so I've kind of been thinking about that because I want to make sills more and it's a little tricky to keep everything else running. So these are some of my favorite times of the week is when I get to hang out with you guys and make some wax sills and experiment. Just see what happens. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to clean my spoon out well at the moment because this wax is so thick. And I can even pour some of this out. I'm gonna pour some out over here. Let me see if I can, you guys can't quite see it. But I'm just trying to pour it on my parchment paper so at least some of it I can use it as like a bead later. But the rest that's in here, I'm gonna just put it on the warmer again to warm up. And we can check these little, oops, okay, not ready. That one's started getting bumpy. Let's see. Yeah, the two colors would look marble. That would be fun. It would be fun if you could also achieve, have you guys seen like yellow roses that have like the red on the top of the petal? So it's like yellow and then it has red on the top. It'd be cool if you could achieve some type of effect where it's kind of like an ombre going this direction on the petal as well. But yeah, I like the idea of two colors so you get like a marble look or something like that. Would love to see 2 times a week. Twice a week sounds great. I always get so much out of your lives. If you add a second live, could the second be determined by the community, like for option and we vote on Instagram stories? That'd be fun. Yeah, that's a good idea. I hadn't ever thought of that. I would love if you featured a different stamp each week so I can go back through your videos and get ideas. That's also a good idea because that's something else too, is like when I get a new collection, I immediately, when I see the stamps, I have ideas like that's how I would use that stamp. But sometimes I don't actually get to do it or I never get around to doing it for each one. So that would be kind of fun to like show different techniques with different stamps because some stamps lend themselves better to different things. Like we could vote which sills from your shop you demonstrate. Yeah, I love that idea too. Yeah. I like the idea of creative hangout live space. Yeah, I think it would be fun too to have like, I love how a lot of you are like doing something creative at the same time. So I love that idea as well, that like you can kind of be watching, listening while you're doing something as well. So here's our little circle. So that's going to be the center of the flower. I'm going to add some gold to that, but we'll wait on that for a second. Let's cut out our petals now. Lisa's asking, do you prefer that type of warmer versus electric warmers? I kind of I like the electric. I feel like it has a more even temperature, which is nice because I think sometimes you can really overheat the wax with a candle. But I think I do just tend to use the candle one just because I've had it longer and have used it more. So I don't think, so I think it is a preference thing because I know a lot of people on here prefer the electric. And it is nice to not have a flame, especially if you've got, little kids, children, even just as an adult, it feels a little bit safer to not have a flame going where you could catch like your paper towel on fire. But yeah, I think it's a little bit preference too. Ketchup and mustard roses. Yeah, those are the ones I'm thinking of with the red on the top. May need to use pens to make red on the edge of the petal. That's actually a really good point, Laura, because I was also thinking too, I was like, it would be really fun to add paint to these. Yeah, or some type of coloring, because then you could get some really great variety in the color that would be, you just won't get quite the same thing with just wax, you know what I mean? But I was also thinking about like that, because you could really like paint them and they look so detailed that you could get a really pretty result that way too. Okay, so I've got the basis of all of them. I'm going to take the stamps off the ice pack so they don't get too wet. And these ones came out pretty close to the edge, so I'm just going to do a quick little trim. And I know it's so boring to watch me just trimming wax, but I think I am gonna do all of these petals. I'm not exactly sure with this size how many we'll need. And we may even need a larger base than the sill that we made. We'll have to see. But yeah, I don't know. I was just like just lately I always make sills like when I'm doing like the wax sill club or something like that. And when with this new collectors club, I'll make a lot of sills for that specific stamp. But like the creative play time and exploration of making wax sills, I just lately I haven't made a lot of time for it. And maybe that's I just need to schedule it in. But it's become this time is when I'm like, I've been wanting to do this since I first ordered these stamps. And so now I'm finally getting to do it, you know? And so I'm like, well, if I did 2 a week, then that would give me 2 dedicated times when I can just be creative and have fun with you guys and make some sills. I like the idea of you guys helping decide what it is, though. I think that could be really fun. So this isn't actually taking too long, and I'm not having to trim too much because they kind of came out really pretty well. I'm just trying to get the very edges. And I was thinking last night because I was thinking this is what I was gonna be doing, and I was like, "Maybe I could try to do the paints." And then I went to open they're in, like, this, like, Tupperware container, all the paints, and I opened it, and immediately the smell just hits you because it's just a strong they're the oil-based tester paints, and so they're really great because they stick on sealing wax, but I can't this after I smelled it, I was like, "I can't do that." It's like insta headache for me. So, but I think it could be really cool if you don't have that issue, or maybe if there's other paints, like adding a little bit of coloring onto the petals and the leaves could be really cool. So now we're in a good place. We've got, let me put my cover on this. Red nail powder would work well. That's a good idea. Yeah, to just do on the edges. Betsy, do you ever find time to just be creative without being all about business? I find creating deals so therapeutic. Yeah, that's something that's been I feel like in the summers, I don't do it much right now, but when it's nice outside, I do like to take my sketchbook and just draw. I like to draw flowers a lot. And so that is one thing that I like to do that's just for fun, and it's sometimes I'll put it in my stories, but usually it's just for me for fun. But yeah, that's something I'm like, I need to do more of that. I think it's so important to just be creative. And so yeah, I think that I need to do more of that. In early May, could you do a rose themed live? That'd be fun. Maybe you could paint some sills outside when the weather is nicer. That's something I've thought of too, because once if it's outside, the smell is not as bad. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces here now to assemble our flower, and I'm gonna turn on my sealing wax. So I do want to have both green and the pink for attaching. And you could maybe use other things, but when I've made these before, it's like just using sealing wax to attach it seems to work the best. But you do need to make sure the sealing wax is hot enough so it will actually like stick. So the next thing I want to do is I kind of want to bend these. And the other technique I'll show you, maybe I'll use this larger one, because these are pretty thick in the middle part, but just like give them a little bit of dimension so they're not just flat. So something like that. You can see how versus this is just a flat one. So we're just kind of trying to make them look a little more lifelike is all we're doing. Acrylic paint pens might work to add color. I need to try I don't have any. Well, maybe I do. Are the deco color ones I got, they might be acrylic. Yeah, I think that's something I need to just experiment and find some more options with. But so we're just kind of like bending these. This one is the other, I think this one's petal number 2. It's a little wider. It's thinner. So that whole thing will wrap around here pretty easy. And we're just kind of shaping these so they're just a little bit more rounded. The other thing I like about lives is it does make it feel a lot more community based, where like a lot of you, like I know your names, I know who you are now, like you guys probably know each other a little bit from seeing each other. And so I think that also makes it really fun to feel like it's a more of a community activity than, just you doing it by yourself. So I do like that part of it as well. Yeah, I think this petal is a little harder to bend. It's like you're more bending up the sides because the middle part's so thick that it doesn't really bend, where this one is like the whole thing, you can get it to bend. So that's kind of nice to have both options in our flower. So we'll have to see how it kind of comes together. I'm going to do the same thing with these. And it's like you could even, I mean, maybe you do it this way too. I just don't want it to be totally flat is what I'm going for here. So it just looks like a little bit more dimension. That's all I'm trying to do. So just bend it around a pencil, or this is an awl, just any little paintbrush, just a little rounded handle. This one I'm going to try more this direction and just kind of get some interesting shapes. So from here, we need to start with our leaves. So I'm going to check the wax, and I'm out of the light green, so I'm going to have to go with dark. So let's check how light this is or how warm it is. I think that's going to be fine. And then I just want to look at how I want to have these kind of arranged. And I'm going to kind of do them a little more wide because the flower a little wider. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean off my gun. So it has just some wax on the bottom. So I'm going to clean that off. So we don't need a lot of wax. So we want to try to be just very tiny little bits. So we'll do a little squeeze. It in and hold it in place until it sets. Let me try to slide this over a little bit. And this one I put a little, I think the other ones I need to get them a little closer to the edge. So maybe a little more like out here. And just like a little dot of wax and then put it in. And I'm going to hold it in place for just a minute. I love the community too. Yeah, I feel like that's part of what makes it so fun. Would have to find time between the other clubs. Yeah, that's true. I love the leaf stamp. Are all these stamps new? They're all part of the spring collection. So if you search that collection, or here, I'll put it in the chat, the link. But they're all in there. So the bigger leaf, this one is the mint, it's called mint leaf. And this thinner leaf is called herb leaf. And there's one more leaf as well that I didn't grab. And then there's 2 of the petals. So they're all in the spring collection. And I kind of had a feeling that they wouldn't be bought a lot because it's like you kind of have to see it and get an idea of maybe what you could do with it. And then it's like, okay. And if you're like, I love this idea, then it's like, yeah, I totally want those. But otherwise, the leaves by themselves look good. I would say the petal alone is kind of a weird one. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're going to go now to pink. And I do kind of want to figure out my coloring a little bit because I've got all this variety. So I kind of want to see, man, I'm getting excited about how this is my first time making this with these detailed detailed things, petals and everything. I'm gonna kind of try to alternate a little bit the different petals. So there's some variety with that. And we just kind of want to layer it. So I'm just trying to get an idea how this will, so kind of like this. But let's start. We kind of know these three will go on the bottom, so we can start here. And I am going to use the primrose, I think. Will the leaves and petals be made available outside the spring collection as well? Potentially. There's a lot of them in stock. So I think there's, but yeah, that would be fun to do, like keep, because I do really like flowers. You guys know that. But I do like making these types of sills. They're fun. So now I'm going to do a little bit of this wax, and I'm going to set that in and hold. And we're kind of just, we want to get our base and then work up to the center. And the center really covers where all the petals connect so that it looks nice in the end. And so I don't know if we'll be able to use all these petals. I'm trying to remember. I feel like I usually have done 6 in the past, and I'll show you the other way that I've made it. So if you don't get these, or you're like, maybe I'll get those in the future, there's another way that you can kind of get this same effect that's really fun, in what I've done in the past. So I do like making it on a sill as the base, because then it's still like it's a wax sill, and you can still use it. But let's see, did we have this one here? Or should we put this one there? I think we'll do maybe the skinnier one. And I'm going to turn my wax off so this pink can cool down a touch. It's really warm. And just got to kind of work your way around and make it set. A poinsettia for Christmas would be so pretty. It would. I wonder if the leaf stamp, I'm trying to think of a poinsettia, but I'm like, could this look like a poinsettia if it was red wax? Maybe? I don't know. Mini petals could layer over bigger ones. That's something you could also do. I mean, you could potentially try to like cut into this to reshape and make it smaller. And so I think that could work. I think for this instance, I'm just going to go with this size. And then so maybe we'll end up with 6. Yeah, that seems to like be fitting pretty well. And then you basically just put that in the center or smaller. So let's try getting these ones worked in. But I'm like, that did cover a lot of our green up. I don't really want to cover that much green. But so maybe I should have got those more on the edge. And I'm like, can I get 2 to stick in there at once? Yes. And then I'll just do one more over here. I just need a little bit more. So there we have our leaf, or I mean our flower. Yeah, I want the leaves a little more farther out. So when you start those, you got to get them closer to the edge. So from here, then we can kind of decide which size of these, maybe even the tiniest. But I do like to add gold to these. So you could make these with hot glue too, and then you could use the Krylon marker, or if you're using sealing wax, we can use nail chrome, and that will work out pretty well. But yeah, I'm like, this is so fun. So we'll get a little bit of the gold chrome, and I'm kind of thinking this is gonna get me all gold everywhere. I did the other day, I was doing this, and I did the this chrome over dark green, and it did kind of change the coloring of it. So even though it's colored gold, you're going to want to choose a base color that's more on the light side, I would say, because the dark green didn't end up looking very good. So like using the light green or use the light pink from the flower, and that would work out pretty well. So we can kind of decide which size we want. I'm thinking one of these is going to be good. I don't think we'll want to go for the biggest size. Dust the tip of the petals with gold powder. Ooh, that'd be fun. I was in my head thinking, what if the whole thing was made of hot glue, but it was like clearish and then there's gold on it or something. I don't know how that would look, but it'd be fun. Wonder if you could use glass glitter in the center. 100%. I think you could use glass glitter. You could use like just a gold bead or something. I think that would be really fun. So that's how it looks with this size, or we could do this size. I think this kind of medium size looks nice. The other thing I did think of that would maybe, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but let me see. What tool did I use to make that? I don't think I have it handy, but I have this little tool that has a little round ball on it. And then you can put like little dents in. So this is kind of giving that effect, but not. It's like a little round tool for, and I've used it when making like a lemon or orange peel. But I did think of this as well as like an alternative. Another thing is there's like a little bit, a pointy part right there from where the wax ended. Like maybe we can just push that in. But I don't know if that looks better or not, like to have a little bit of texture. What do you guys think? Just smooth. It's not so detailed as the petals and leaves that I'm like, I don't know if it's really working. But just an idea that might work. I don't know. Do you guys like it textured? It does add a little bit of interest, I feel like. Textured or just smooth and shiny? Textured, smooth and shiny, and then we'll attach it. Or maybe we make the bigger. I like the bigger size, so maybe it should be textured. Do you have other ideas for using the petals? No. The leaves I think the leaves I have more ideas of, like they would be really fun to do like a connection of leaves to make like a chain. The petals, no, it's like making a flower really is the only idea I have on that. But if anyone else has any idea. Textured. Okay, let's make the bigger, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards this bigger size. Yeah, let's make this one textured too. It's not as detailed as it could be compared to the rest, but I feel like it kind of better matches the rest of the flower. Okay, so really quickly, let's attach this and then let me share if you're like, well, this is not in the cards to get these petals right now. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit of wax. You want a little bit less on this because it will peek out. But you need enough that it's going to hold on. So the only area I'm not loving, you can see there's like this little break here, and that's okay. And like this needs to be a little tighter. So it's definitely a little bit experimentation. And especially after, when I've made these before, it's like after you make one, then you're like, okay, the next few always seem to turn out a little bit better. Oh, Catherine said you could make a clover. Okay, we're going to do that as part of our St. Patrick's Day sales for next week because I have so much green wax and we could try making clovers. That's a great idea. I wonder if the petals could be some sort of shell. That's also an interesting idea. I feel like this one especially looks a little more shell-like. So I wonder if it could be something like that as well. It would be fun. Ooh, what if you could make it look like it was an opening one and there's a pearl inside or something, you know, like it's like a clamshell. That would be fun. Okay, so then here it is, and let's see if that middle, it did stick on all the way. So that was good. I'm like, is there a way to fix that now? I don't know. It's like we could maybe, should we try to get a smaller petal really quick? Let me see where'd my mat go? Let's just see if we can trim a petal down. And that might be also another thing that might help is having more variety of sizes, but it's like, what if we just make this a more narrow petal? And then just trim the top a little bit. I don't know. Let's see if it works. It needs to be a little more rounded right there. See if something like this will fit. But that also could be an option as well, as you could kind of trim some of the petals. I can't remember who said that, but I think that, yes, I feel like this will work. It needs to be a little smaller. Let's do one more trim and see if we can get it a little, and maybe that one will fill in that space and it will look really great. So just trying a general petally shape. Oops. You can still kind of bend it up a little bit. I can't decide. You can get it kind of tuck in there. And then let me just fix this side. Okay. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. Should we add this, or is that just making it not look right now? I'm like, if this is a little more rounded out. It just feels like it's missing a little something. There's a little gap here. Kind of slide it under that one. I don't know. Does that help or does that not help? I'm not sure because it's the only one that's different. So what do you guys think? Add that in or we shouldn't have it in? I feel like it does help a little bit, especially if it's kind of tucked underneath. Then I think it kind of works. Let's see. Flowers aren't perfect. You can leave it as is. That's a good point. As oyster shell with pearl would be amazing, or as mini oyster shells with the decoupage interior and gold edges that people make for ornaments. Ooh, you guys. Okay, now we have 2 ideas. We need to do 4-leaf clovers and we need to do something with an oyster shell. I think that would really be fun. Okay. Did you post a code for the spring workshop for Script and Soul Society members? Yes, I emailed that. And maybe I do need to post it into the group. So if you're one of my box members, I'll take a look at that. Let me just add myself a note really quick because I forget anything that is not on my list. Okay, so I'll double check, but I'll add that in today. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that right now. So let me show you really quickly if you want to try. So if you're like, I want something like this, but it's going to be more simple looking, but still really cute and fun. So for this, what you need is you're going to want a small circle paper punch. So this size, I think we've already discussed this. I think it's like a 5/8 inch. It doesn't list it anywhere. There's a small circle size. And I'm going to see if this is warm enough. Yes, perfect. So for this, what we're going to do, we're going to make some strips of sealing wax. And I'm going to wipe that off while it's warm and get most of it off. And then I do want some green. And when I've done this, I've not done that light of colors, so you can, but I feel like I would maybe go with the darker, the rose color versus the really light. Because then it's just compared, like the green is so vibrant, but I mean, that's kind of pretty, the really light pink. And once it's layered. So this doesn't come off sometimes, so I can put it on my warmer to get it off, or sometimes I'll just let it cool and then I'll use my X-Acto and just scrape it off. So we have to let that cool down. And in the meantime, we can make, well, I wasn't going to make the whole sail, but you can do the same thing where you make a base. Yeah. But it is taking a while because it's so hot. What days, oh, there we go. What days do the lettering box and Wax Seal Club ship? So it's a little bit up in the air. So we are moving on April 2nd, and April 3rd, the Wax Seal subscription it renews, and I think it's April 6th, the lettering box renews. And we're hoping that it's just like a weekend thing that we can get everything for the business moved into the shop. So then my packing ladies can start working on it. So if that all works out really well, then we shouldn't be delayed. But just with the moving process, I'm just not exactly sure yet, but it's probably going to be the week after the 6th. So that would be like the week of the 13th of April, but it's a little bit up in the air until we actually move. And if that happens, so if that all works out. Okay, so this will come up once it's cool, it will kind of start to pill up, which is what we want. And we kind of want it thinner because we want it to fit in here so we can get little circles. So then you can just do a bunch. And then we make them into more of a petal shape. So kind of make them rounded-ish on the top and then kind of come into a point. So something like that, but you can make them a little bit bigger. That one was a little on the small side. So like kind of cut the edge off on both, and then you can kind of make them a little wavy. So then you get kind of a petal-ish shape like this. So then that's like how we started with this, where we had the petals. Now we have like a petal, right? So you would cut all of them out like that. The leaf, you just cut it into a leaf shape. So then you can just, you could do long and skinny ones, or you could do wider ones. So I've done some like that. Sometimes I'll just make them like really more like a big rounded leaf. So then it's like this. So any of that would work. So this is fun because you can kind of play with the shape and the sizes. The other thing that I have tried that I'll show you, and I don't know if, because I was trying to get a similar result to these 3D ones to make it look dimensional. So I have done things where you can like draw, basically kind of cut into the wax to make, but it's a lot more like illustrative, you know, it's not super detailed or anything, but you could do like something like that on the leaf. But then it's the same process where with these, they're really easy to bend. So you can kind of bend them to the shape you want. And the same with these. I always kind of just bend them this way. And then you do the same thing where you would start with your base, go around your leaves, and then you would just do these petals all the way around and put the little gold thing on the top. So that's kind of the same idea, but it's just you don't have to have the special stamps. But I mean, these are really cool and they look really amazing, like a real flower. But this is also looks really pretty and fun, and I've made those before. And so either one is a really cool, fun way to make a flower still. It looks like a 3D feature of the flower to me, so it doesn't look bad to have the light wax peeking out. Love it. I went ahead and paid for it because I never saw a code. You can send us an email at support@begoodslettering.com, and then we can refund you that. But yeah, if you haven't joined the workshop week yet, you definitely should. I'll post about it in all the subscription box groups. So if you're a box member, there's a code for you. But if you're not, you can still join us. And this is one of the techniques that we're going to be doing is these flower cells. So I'll finish showing how to make this version as well. But they're just really fun, and they are nice because you still have that base of a seal. So you can still put your sticker, your 3M sticker on there. And then you can you can attach it to an envelope or a gift. It is thick. Look at this. So it is thick and big, but it also, when you're looking at it from the top, you can't see all the places where you like stuck it together. And so especially if it's on a card or gift, they're not usually going to be like looking on the back side or anything. But I think it's pretty cute. It's pretty fun. So this version's fun one too. So I shared the link to that. That's for workshop week. That's going to be April 6th through 8th. I'm going to be doing that also right when we're moving. Fun. I think it'll turn out great. I don't think it'll just be like a mess probably, or in other areas of our house that you can't see, it will be a huge mess because we won't have unpacked, but it will be really fun. I like it made with metallic. I do like that too. I think it would be fun. Like you could do more like yellow or brown, like to make it look more like a flower, but I think the gold is nice. Lovely as a brooch, a magnet. That's a great idea to make it a little magnet. You could put a magnet back there and then it could stick on the fridge. I think that would be really fun. So this is a fun, something different, very springy. But yeah, if you want to get these, they're in the spring collection. I'll share that link one more time. Here it is. So that's where you can get the different stamps. So there's the 2 petals and there's 2 leaves that I had today. There's one other leaf, but it's like the kind that you would see in Hawaii or something. So I don't feel like it goes as well with these ones, but they're still really fun, really pretty little sills. So they're all there. The last thing I was just going to mention really quickly was the spring gift box. I know a lot of you have purchased that, which is amazing, but I do have a couple left. So I was just going to show you if anyone had missed this. Bring you guys up a little bit. But it's a whole little set. So it's perfect for gifting. It's perfect for keeping. But you get a little greeting card set. There's some stickers and a maker's map. You get a candle warmer spoon and some really cute blue blend of beads. It's got 3 blues and cream and white. And then the stamp is actually a ring stamp. So this is so fun. So it's a little ring that you can wear, and this twists off. So I'm working on getting some more designs of just this part. And I'm going to get the ring again in the fall time. But so if you want this now, and it has this cute little floral design, you should totally get the box. It's so fun. So I have just a few left. It doesn't ship out till May, so it's a pre-order, but it would be fun to give as a gift. It'd be fun to keep. But I'm just going to add the link to that if you haven't gotten it yet. I don't think it's going to like sell out today, but I would say within a week or so, they'll probably be all gone. So if you want to get one, definitely grab one. So let me make myself a little larger. Thank you for joining me today. I think this was so much fun. Um, so let me know if you try it. If you do, share it with me or share it in one of the groups. If you're in get any of my boxes or in the membership, you can share it with us. But I think it's just a fun, kind of just different way uh, to use your sealing wax, kind of a different idea, which is fun and springy. So let me know if you guys have any questions about it. And I'm going to think more about that twice a week situation of doing a live. I think maybe not Tuesdays. That's the thing. Maybe it's Mondays and Thursdays. I don't know, but I'll keep you updated. But I've kind of been toying with that idea, so I'll let you know about that. But otherwise, we'll plan on seeing you next week. And I want to do St. Patrick's sills because I have so much green left over like this. So we're gonna do some St. Patrick's sills, and maybe we'll even try a 4-leaf clover with the petals still and see how that comes out because I think that could be really fun. So thank you all, and I'll see you next week.